here's what hustle plays are all about. You got 3 Phoenix players around Caitlin Clark, and
she was involved in on the offensive end, created a lot of conversation over the past week.
Punch in your fucking face. Okay? It's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro.
June 24, 2026. The matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury had reached the second quarter when everything changed. Caitlin Clark was already on the floor after the whistle had blown. The play was over. The ball had rolled away. Yet Alyssa Thomas drove her fist into Clark's throat before casually stepping over her, treating her as though she wasn't even part of the game, as if she were nothing more than another object lying on the hardwood.
Now, what I would love Caitlin to do is get up one time and then just slap the
The moment didn't fade when the game moved on. It ignited a firestorm across the basketball community. Reaction came fast and from every direction. Fans voiced their anger, analysts questioned the play, coaches weighed in, and players joined the discussion. Across the sport, the response was swift, widespread, and filled with outrage.
I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
Yet amid all the noise, one opinion has risen above the rest. The loudest and most influential response has come from Shaq. Standing 7'1", a 4-time NBA champion and a Hall of Famer, Shaq is widely regarded as one of the most physically overwhelming forces the game has ever seen.
People love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills.
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point.
A player who spent his entire career battling through relentless contact and constant physical play, Shaq knows better than almost anyone where the boundary lies between hard-nosed basketball and actions that cross the line into dirty play.
Well, she's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
That's why his reaction carries so much weight. Even Shaq, who has frequently voiced support for Angel Reese, looked at Alyssa Thomas' actions toward Caitlin Clark and made it clear that the line had been crossed. When someone with his perspective says enough is enough, it's a message the WNBA can no longer afford to ignore. So let's break down exactly what happened and why this moment has sparked such a powerful reaction.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark.
What gives Shaq's comments so much credibility is the fact that he wasn't always a supporter of Caitlin Clark. He's acknowledged that himself, even saying it publicly during an appearance on Angel Reese's podcast. Because of his loyalty to Reese, he admitted he initially viewed Clark with skepticism. But that opinion changed. Shaq explained that he kept expecting Clark to miss the big shots, yet she continued knocking them down time after time. Eventually, he realized the obvious. When a player consistently proves you wrong in the biggest moments, there's no denying they're the real deal.
And I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot. And bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot. Man, like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth.
What makes that shift remarkable is that it came from someone who openly admitted he once doubted Clark. After watching her perform firsthand, however, his opinion changed completely. In later comments, Shaq explained that he had avoided speaking publicly about Caitlin Clark because of his close connection to Angel Reese. But once he saw Clark's game for himself, he said there was no denying her talent. He praised her decision-making, her ability to make the right pass and the right basketball play, and he also pointed to something else that impressed him, her composure under constant physical pressure. Shaq noted that Clark has repeatedly absorbed hard contact without turning it into excuses or complaints. Instead, she continues competing at a high level, which he described as the mark of a truly great player. He recognized the physical treatment she had been receiving and commended the way she handled it with professionalism. That is why, when the events of June 24, 2026 unfolded, even someone with Shaq's high tolerance for physical basketball viewed Alyssa Thomas' actions as crossing a line that should never be crossed.
Like, literally kneeing and cheap shotting C in the throat. They're definitely targeting her, and the league and the refs do nothing to protect her.
Before taking a closer look at Shaq's response, it's important to revisit the sequence of events so everyone is on the same page. The footage leaves little room for interpretation, and the key moments are clearly visible. What happened can be examined directly from the video, making the facts themselves difficult to dispute.
Watch this. Look at that. Look at her. Put her fist and her forearm into Caitlin Clark's neck.
Just over 3 minutes into the second quarter, both teams were scrambling for a loose ball, a routine part of basketball where physical contact is expected. Up to that point, everything was part of normal competition. But once the ball was gone and the whistle had effectively ended the play, the situation changed. With Caitlin Clark still on the floor, Alyssa Thomas appeared to drive her fist into Clark's neck before stepping over her. There was no immediate foul called, no whistle, and no on-court discussion. Replay angles highlighted multiple moments of contact. The footage appeared to show Thomas making contact with her knee around Clark's upper leg before pressing her fist into Clark's neck, all while an official on the baseline had a clear view of the play. Despite that, play continued without a penalty being assessed. Clark later exited the game in the third quarter with a back injury and did not return. Her early departure immediately became one of the biggest talking points of the night, with many questioning why no action had been taken by the officials during the earlier sequence. For many observers, however, the June 24 incident was about more than a single play. They viewed it as another chapter in a pattern of unusually physical treatment that Clark has faced since entering the WNBA. One of the earliest examples frequently referenced came in 2024, when Chennedy Carter delivered an off-the-ball body check that knocked Clark to the floor after the play. No foul was called on that sequence either. The clip quickly spread across social media, sparked widespread debate, and despite the controversy, Clark simply got back up and continued playing.
I mean, that's clearly a foul.
Think back to the earlier matchup involving Brittany Griner. Throughout that game, Clark was repeatedly forced to deal with heavy contact in the paint. To many viewers, it looked like the physical play extended beyond ordinary defensive intensity and became increasingly deliberate. Rather than isolated moments, the repeated collisions fueled a growing perception that Clark was being targeted with a level of contact that stood out even in a league known for its physical style.
You know, we get any fingers on it. Contact.
Clark responded the way elite players often do on the court. In her next trip to Connecticut, she caught fire from beyond the arc, knocking down 5 three-pointers while shooting 50% from deep. Instead of letting the physical play define the narrative, she answered with her performance, delivering another reminder of why she remains one of the league's most dangerous offensive players.
Look at all the contact between Clark and LaCon.
And Clark hits a deep three!
She didn't complain, she let her game do the talking. Remember Angel Reese? During the Atlanta series this season, Reese committed a flagrant foul on Clark, then stood over her afterward with a smile. It was a scene that looked strikingly familiar to many watching the events of June 24. Clark on the floor, an opponent standing above her. The pattern felt hard to ignore. The setting changes, the player changes, but the outcome seems familiar. Clark ends up on the floor, someone stands over her, and the controversy shifts toward how the officials handled the situation. Think back to Marina Mabrey last season. Throughout that game, Clark dealt with constant physical contact that drew little response from the officials, while she herself picked up fouls trying to fight through the repeated bumps and pressure. And then came Alyssa Thomas. Contact to the throat, contact around a previously injured area, an official positioned on the baseline with a clear view, no whistle. Clark exited in the third quarter and never returned. To many, it felt like the latest step in an escalating pattern, one that Robert Horry, Shaq's former teammate during the Lakers' championship years, had warned about just weeks earlier. Speaking to Fox News Digital, Horry said that when you're the best, everyone wants to bring you down. Fans reacted with outrage, with many calling the play dirty and questioning why no stronger action was taken. Former players and media personalities also criticized the incident, while Indiana head coach Stephanie White publicly described the contact as unacceptable and argued that her team deserved better protection from the officials. For many observers, the debate has grown beyond a single play. They see it as part of a larger conversation about player safety, officiating standards, and how the league handles repeated physical incidents involving Caitlin Clark. Even Shaq, a player whose career was built on embracing physical basketball, has drawn a distinction between tough competition and conduct that crosses the line. The question now is whether the WNBA's response is enough to discourage similar incidents in the future. What do you think? Was the punishment appropriate, or should it have been more severe? Share your thoughts in the comments below.